Hello. So, how are you doing today? How is everything going in your world? Are you doing well? You know, I share things on social media often because I just have decided at a point in my life, and I don't know if you feel this way as well. Tell me if you can relate to this. That there comes a point where you're just like, you have been through so many trials, tribulations, different aspects of just pain and happiness, sorrow, frustrations, letdowns, betrayals, lies. And do you ever feel like you just get to a point where it's like, if you are suffocating yourself by not genuinely being who you are based upon this ideology of this, we have to impress each other by simply being what we're expected to be in front of another stature or looking up to something that literally, why are you looking up to these things? Like, introspection is something that I have come into realization a lot recently. And I don't know about you, if you've ever experienced like really deeply looking at yourself and your tone, your response mechanisms. Like, why do you do the things that you do depending upon your external influences? So, I have chosen to do a lot of reflection work, meaning that I take into consideration, reevaluate my performance, why I do the things that I do, so that I can learn from my interactions and my responses. Now, so I question this often with human behavior, okay? And stay with me here because I know that the subject may not seem that interesting. However, I find it to be very prevalent, important, and something that often the average human mind does not take into their own thought process because they're often pre-programmed with all these different programs from other narratives outside of them that you don't ever think to question often the things around you. And it's almost like if you question them, then you feel like, oh, then that's weird. Like, that's not the right thing to do. This is the way that it is because it's comfortable to stay in that circumference, aka, or a box, a square. So you figure if the way that the world continues to go and has gone and all of history and its timelines and information, and its repetitiveness. If you study history and patterns of recognition, the answers are right there. You are repeating a narrative based upon a previous author's story. So often I hear very highly intelligent individuals who read books, yet they quote and preach and reiterate and imitate other authors' stories from the past, which therefore comes into the now moment and presents itself as a narrative for the manifestation of the future. So pretty much what's been going on in the timelines of history over and over and over again because of the conscious and subconscious fields of information, that this tends to lead to a repetitive narrative from an entity, aka a human, a skin suit vessel, conscious field, that then displays a previous narrative. So it's like rewriting history in different forms, meaning your skin suit, yet you're still writing another person's story because you're saying that the future is based upon this author rather than stepping outside of yourself. And I challenge you this. Have you ever thought about questioning the very stories that were written and actually take into consideration how you write your story and your response mechanisms in this lifetime as well? What are you afraid of? Change? Challenging something or asking a question? Or is it so easy to follow something outside of you because it's more comfortable? I think these are things that really are interesting aspects to take into consideration of how the implantations of the program mind and the hive mind and the control mechanisms continuously continue to work on a human consciousness field. It's like your screen time, all of the things that you're flowing, that you have going in and out of your fields of receptivity often result in your manifestations, your mind, your responses. So really what's been going on here is that the knowledge of these types of displays of narratives and theatrical performative actors who are on stage are well aware of this. And so the majority have been discluded from this information, because if you had the ability to think outside of the hive mind programming, then you would be censored or a little bit shadow banned, or God forbid, nothing bad is going to happen to you, by the way. Fear is one of the main tactics of how these operations work so fluently. Because when you are in fear, you lack the ability to think clear. Fear does not equal clear. So when you step outside of that fear modality and that mind box program, like theatrical narrative type of projection in the matrix field of just theatrics, you start to really zone in on the actors that are very aware that they're playing the game as well. So they're just repeating narratives. Okay, so with that being said, I wanted to just clue you into some things. And if you think I'm crazy, you think that this is different, then good. Different is something that is outside of your box mind programming. Think about it like this. You've read a scripture your entire existence, written by a human, right? Okay? They wrote these stories. They took out pages and different narratives in order to fit a control mechanism so that you would feel a little bit less power, so that you would always be looking outside of you for the very keys of information that were already held within you. But they tried to erase those scriptures. And I'm here as a friendly reminder that they very much have not been erased. So stay tuned, stay alert, and also stay true. And if you have a feeling about something, trust your intuition. Okay?